Howdy, folks. That's right, we're backing out of ore. It's been a little bit of a wait, but the new beta update's finally here, and we got some new production stuff. Some automated smelting and whatnot. So we're going to build a new plant to process iron, and basically we're going to process it into beams. And then we can build stuff out of the beams. That is the plan. It's going to take a lot more power, so we'll have to take a look at our power once I get everything put together. I may fire it with the coal plants, but the coal plants, we'd have to manage it because it'll, even if you're not consuming power, it'll continue to burn through the coal. So we'll see. We got some new stuff though, so let's get right to it. I've got rid of my old smelter array here and sold all that stuff off, and I finished off. I can jump so far. It's crazy. Finished off the little dump area here, so we can pull in, dump out the iron ore, and then back on out. And then that conveyor is going to come out of the hopper. We'll put the iron in there, and it's going to come over here. And then we have kind of a three-step process. So let's go into the store. We'll walk through this. So the first thing we need is a smelter. And this will take our iron ore. It's going to turn it into melted iron. And then it takes power, 102 kilowatts. And the conveyor speed can be up to 30 meters per second. I think that's what that means. So then we take that melted, what's it called? It's called melted iron. Then we need to turn that into a bloom. So it kind of rolls it into a, it's called an iron bloom here in the game anyway. That's only 32 kilowatts. Same conveyor speed. And then those blooms can get made into beams with the beam roller. So we take a steel bloom in, get a steel beam. Actually, how do we get a steel bloom? Am I doing this right? Melted iron. No, we need melted steel. Ooh, I missed that. I'm missing a step. How do we make steel with the new stuff? Oh, that's the high temp smelter. Okay, well, I bought the smelter a little early. So if we send it through the high temp smelter, then we get melted steel from our iron ore. Okay, well, sell. I guess I could have kept that for gold later or something, but we've got so much money, it doesn't really matter. We've got 5.5 million. We're rolling in the money. All right, so a high temp smelter. Let's just walk through this again to make sure I'm going to do this right. So iron ore then becomes melted steel. And then in the bloom roller, oops, I didn't mean to click that. No, doing it all wrong. Meant to click up here. That'll take our melted steel and we get a steel bloom from that. And then our beam roller will take the steel bloom, turn it into a steel beam. And then we can take that steel beam, just like we've been doing in the I think it's the CNC machine, along with the nuts and bolts we get from the lathe, and make the steel cubes to sell. So that's the plan. Let's put this all together, see how much power we're going to need. So our first thing is a smelter. You can see we've got an input here. So if we snap that right there, yeah, there we go, 102 kilowatts. So that will bring that in there, and then I'm going to need a lot more room. I wasn't sure how much room we would need here. Now, do I want to turn and maybe go this way? How big is this thing? Yeah, let's turn to the right. So if we go to conveyors, we got some new pipes and stuff too. We want a left turn. So that's going to go there. Some more concrete blocks under here. So we got 100 and some of those. And I don't know if I'll put a building around this or just kind of see how it goes. May want to change our production at some point. All right, let's see how this all fits together. So then we get our our bloom roller. So we'll take the melted steel and turn it into a steel bloom. And funnily enough, the melted steel comes out in a wooden box, I think, and it gets transferred over here. We'll see how it goes. I think that's how that works. And then we probably just want another left turn. That way we're kind of making a square here. All right, we need a left turn. Let's look that on there. Bunch more concrete out this direction. Hear my CNC working away in there. All right, and then we'll roll those blooms into beams. And then this should just pop out beams, which we can then put in storage. I don't think there's any auto crafting yet. I think that might be coming on down the line, but for now this should just make us a bunch of beams. So we'll throw a storage on there. Like that. Then I'm going to just fill this in, just kind of for completeness. I might eventually put a roof over this. We shall see. Oops, it's a little bit awkward sometimes in third person. One thing I noticed while I was testing, if you just have the smelter and stuff coming into it, it'll queue up stuff in the gate here. If you save and quit and come back in, you lose all that stuff that's sitting there in the gate. So just be aware of that. As far as I know, once it becomes a finished product in the storage, you should be okay. All right, that should get us. And then what's our total load? We'll have to go look at our total load over there. So that will, yeah, smelt. Make the blooms into, or make the melted steel into steel blooms into steel beams. They go into storage. How badly overloaded is this now? So if we go look at this guy, 500 watts, really? Is that it? Can we power all this with that windmill? Are we going to blow up everything? Maybe. Yeah, the conveyors are running. We might be good to go. The only thing I need is some iron ore. So let's go get some iron ore. Been a hot minute since I've played any out of ore. And I'm out of ore. At least I think I am. I don't know if I have any up at the top of the hill or not. Let's go run up there and check. So I can get this all sorted out. I want to probably make another setup like for gold and other stuff. Because you can also just smelt it into the gold bars automatically. Which saves you a little bit of time manually doing the smelters the old way. It'll just pop out gold bars for you to sell or whatever. We might as well get some fuel here. There we go. Come on, truck. You got this. There's also, along with the new coal power plant, there's some higher power stuff as well. I think there's a 5,400 kilowatt power pole now. And I haven't played this a lot. I don't know what all has changed as far as like game mechanics go. I don't know if if the power like works the same way, or where you have to have the same power load, even if it's not going through it, that kind of thing. Alright, let me check. What do we have in here? We have copper ore. We don't want that. We just want iron ore. So let's take the copper ore out. Consume the iron ore. Then we can turn this on. Start loading up the truck with some iron ore. And for now, I'm just going to put the copper ore in there for storage. Or gold as well. So we need some processing for this. Right now, I'm just getting the iron processing going. Kind of get a feel for how that works. All right, while the truck's going along, let's just take a look at... so you saw the smelter and all that stuff. There's also a water pump now, which if you place on... I think it said grass or ice. It has a tooltip when you go to place it. Yeah, grass or snow. Then it'll produce water. That can be made. I think right now it just juices up the output maybe of like the asphalt plant and some stuff. Maybe the wash plant as well. I haven't played around 100% with all this stuff. We also have a coil roller, which makes coils. I don't know what those are used for yet. Need to do some more investigation. Does this show a water input? No, but I'm pretty sure that you hook water up to this to make it more efficient. We have pipelines now for the liquid transport, so it's just like a conveyor, except it's a pipe. Power, we have the coal plant, which will generate up to 2,200 kilowatts. And this does work. I tested this out. You just throw coal in it. You can even hook up a hopper and have it feed it coal. Works pretty well. And then we have these new 5,400 kilowatt power pylons. And there may be some other stuff. Like I said, I've not gone through the exhaustive list of all the new things. Other people will be making videos about that. And I'll go watch them. Alright. We are full. Turn you off. Hopefully we didn't spill too much while I was gabbing. Yep. Oh boy. Hold on, truck. It's doing a little dance there. Is that a new texture, or does it just kind of look... Yeah, it looks kind of different. I don't know if it's just lighting or if the texture is somewhat different. It's been a while since I played. I haven't really played much since the last video. Been waiting for this new smelting stuff to come out. So if I've set this all up right down here, we will get some iron or steel beams out the other end. Kind of surprised. I would imagine it will change at some point. You don't need like coal to make steel anymore. I don't know. Normally you would have some kind of carbon, I think. I'm not a steel making expert, but... Alright, actually, do I want that turned on? Let's do this. Let's turn this off. I want to manage when we send it through. Oh, we have sounds now for the hydraulics. Did we have that before? I don't know. Alright, so if we come over here to the hopper. Yeah, I didn't want all this other stuff in there. So we'll pull that over to my toolbar here. And then I just want the iron ore to go through. Okay, let's fire it up and see what happens. I think that's an 800 kilowatt windmill, so we should be good. Alright, we have ore, we have boxes flying out of here. For now, it just has like a generic box. I don't know if that'll be different at some point, but... So that's going through there. We got melted steel coming in. We have stuff flying out in batches, it looks like. We get blooms and beams popping out the other end. We should have steel beams. Yeah, sure enough, there we go. I don't know what the ratio is. I didn't actually look to see what the ratio was. Like it's taken 30 at a time, maybe? I should have sent like 1,000 through and saw what we got. I'll do some calculations later. I'll figure out what exactly we got going on. I've got a few more of these concrete, so let's make this a little easier to walk around it. All right, we are making stuff. I like it. It's not super fast. We might want to do like a splitter and have multiple ones of these, you know, go full satisfactory mode where you're checking all the input and output ratios and all that good stuff. But for now, it's working. It pretty much continuously feeds that, and then this pops out in batches. Does it actually say in here anywhere the ratio? So if we go here, this says conveyor speed. Yeah, I don't know if we'd know the rate. It just has a conveyor speed. It's a power efficiency. So I don't know. It'll all come with time. But hey, we're making stuff in an automated fashion. I like it. What are we doing over here? We have... Oh, we've sent it all through already. Interesting. So that's done like 3,000 iron ore already? Is this like hugely inefficient compared to the old way? Because that got me 31 beams. Okay. Well, it is automated. I'll give it that. But the old way takes one iron ore, one coal to make one steel, and then you get one beam. It looks like it's about 100 to 1. Okay, well that's a thing. 'Cause yeah, we had like 3,000, didn't we? Let's go get another load, if we have another load even. And let's send a measured amount through and see what we got. That seems like it's about 100 to 1 ratio if you're doing it the automated way, which I guess I'm okay with having it be less efficient. You're not doing it by hand, but that seems rather extreme. So I thought we had like 3,100 and something iron ore. Let's go get more, and I'll put an actual measured amount in, and we'll see what we get. If we have more in here, I forget how much I had. Maybe I had a lot less in the truck than I thought. Okay, yeah. The 3,100 might have been what was in the hopper up here. All right, stand by. I'm gonna get another truckload. Didn't quite have enough to get the truck full, but we've got some to work with here. Wait, did I turn this off? Wish we had an easier way to manage this kind of thing. Let's turn that off. There, we can turn you off. Still no startup or shutdown sounds. Maybe someday. Alright, you are off. Let's go over here to you and return. And then can't remember how to split. There we go. Wish there was a way to say, give me a set amount. Let's do that. I was going to do 1,000. Let's send 1,000 through. No, too much. Oh, I can't count. We'll get there. 22 more. Six more. We're getting there. Ta-da. All right. You can all get there. If there's a way to do that, let me know. All right, so we have 1,000 in there. So let's put that in the hopper. And then let's go take the beams out of the storage. And let's send 1,000 through and see what we get. Then we'll know. Just double confirm. 1,000 iron ore. And turn her on. Amazing, it only takes 500 kilowatts. Oh, we got some smoke coming out of there. Look at that. Eat your heart out, ozone layer. Yeah, we got boxes flying through. I like it. Runs through it in pretty fast fashion. There we go. Here's the last of the ore. Unless something's like deleting stuff somewhere because it's not fast enough or whatever. Okay, that should be all through, and we got 8 steel beams from 1,000 iron ore. That doesn't seem right. I think there's bugs afoot. I don't know if it's deleting stuff. I don't know what's happening there, but yeah. Anyway, it's a beta of an early access. You got to expect some issues. So we'll see. By the time you see this, that may be patched. I don't know. This is the night of the day that this came out, so it just came out. All right, we'll shut that down. So yeah, that seems pretty broken. So I'll give it some cook time. In the meanwhile, we might just mine some iron ore in the next episode because I am kind of low on ore. I don't want to run out of ore. That would be terrible. Thanks as always for watching, folks. Let me know if you tried out the new patch, what your experience is. And I'll catch you in the next adventure. Take care.